Right, it looks like we're live. Excuse me. We're going to be playing The Unfinished Swan. I streamed a small portion of this the other day between Rhyme to just get one of the trophies that has been sitting on my shelf for a couple of years to get through. But I've never actually streamed this game. I thought I would because I think it's really adorable. It's by Giant Sparrow, the same developers of What Remains of Edith Finch. And in that video, would it have been like part 2, I guess? Maybe part 3. We bump into Milton, who's one of her... It's one of Edith's brothers that goes missing in the house, you see. And of course, you'll discover through this that that there is a relation there. A relationship, I should say. Now, I have finished the game all the way through, so there's no, like, start a new game. It has to basically be start at chapter 1. So you can see all the balloons mark the state that I've picked them all up already. So we're not going to be looking at balloons. We're just going to explore the game, and I'll let the intro start.
Monroe's mother had always been much better at...
Let me turn it up a little, sorry, to my headphones. There we go.
Who felt pretty unfinished himself. The orphanage allowed him to keep only one painting, and so he chose the unfinished swan that had always been his mother's favorite. But that night, he woke up to find the swan had disappeared. So he took his mother's silver paintbrush and followed the footprints into a little door he hadn't seen before.
And there you go, that's the intro done. This game deals with negative space as well as positive space. I guess I can demonstrate it with doing this. We're in an environment. We cannot see any surfaces. However, and you can see there's an object here. However, I can put paint down. And the best way to navigate in this environment is to define the edges. Now, you don't need to do this. You can actually wander around quite happily without being able to see any of the surfaces. But you can see now, obviously, there is a corridor there. Let's see if I just continue around the room, that it is a box. I see there's like a door here. Can we open it? No. I can apparently jump. Right, so let's just continue down here. You can paint the scene as black as you like. However, it has the same problem as the scene being totally white. If it's fully black, you can't see edges, so it's actually much better to paint a reasonable amount, but just not too much. Right. Okay, there's an edge here. Is there? No. So this is the corner. Okay, there's a... I guess it's a crate. I'm not even certain what that is on top. It's like a... What's sticking out on top of it? A plant, maybe? A plant pot? I don't even know. Okay, so that's an irregular shape there. And what is this? Oh, okay. That's why I love this. It's just there's not much to see to begin with, but there's a shape here. Oh, okay. Okay, it's a pitchfork, and you can see that because I didn't paint all of it. So I guess it's a pitchfork. We've got a barrel here. What looks like a picnic bench. Yeah. And there's trees or something. Okay, so there's a fence here. Okay, so it slopes down here. And you can see we've filled in some of the space. And we're finding our way. And now there's something yellow. Okay, there are steps here, I guess. Okay, that's a cart. It is amazing how much you can tell from the smallest of just surface smattering. Okay, there are some tools or something behind it. Okay, there's a spade. Oh wow, and then we've got reeds here sat in the water. Okay, so our ink blobs float apparently. We're following the typical convention I do of games I've already played. We will feign ignorance and be excited at everything, because honestly, I like being that way anyhow. Woo! Hello, Froggy. I completely forgot you existed. And apparently now either it jumped in or it got eaten. We'll never know. Now what we were doing the other day was walking through this area without using paint at all. And it's definitely doable. By basically following like a cheat sheet of our footsteps required. Quite amazing how I never fell in here, but you can wander around over there. Oh. That is super cool. Right, so we dead end here. See the mess we've made behind us? We have the king right here with his golden crown. I do wonder how well this will come across on the stream, frankly. Not just image compression, but just with the way an awful lot of I guess distortion you're going to get from just all the little splat artifacts. Right. Now this is where I kept falling off. Right here, because you have to... It's a diagonal push. And we're going over to the roof over this way, aren't we? Look at that. Yeah, this way. There. So I'm trying to get a good screenshot. I guess if we ground it with some foreground. There we go. I wonder what that mess is, whether that's the... I guess that's peeking into the room that we started in, maybe? Right, so from here we're going along like a rooftop. Yeah. And then there's another one. And then we go up here. Onto another roof. And then from here we're just hopping down into the next area. I mean, I know I'm just hopping down there, but... I mean, that's interesting that you literally just go around. I wanted to take some screenshots because I think it'd be really neat to try and remodel the actual environment in, like, Dreams when it comes out. Because I think that would be neat. So I have a cockerel. Or a chicken, if you want to use just the regular name. We have a ring. And here we go. Here's the pig that we need to walk past. And that would be a unicorn. So we're actually going up the stairs ahead. If I can find them. Here we go. Clearly not these stairs. More yellow. If I just fill in the near, you can see how far we've come. Now that the floating image in the top left is obviously with something we've visited beforehand in another playthrough. Basically you see floating letters in the environment, and when you splat it with some paint it fills out. And
the king was young, arrogant, and amazingly talented. He was convinced no color existed that was good enough for his garden, so he left it white. While he pondered how to create some new colors, his kingdom began attracting settlers, and soon he found himself with bigger problems.
Wow. So yeah, you discover those and she narrates them, and you can see there's a gate here that we can't get past. But there is, I'm sure what you described it as. Looks like a pot with some fancy handles on. You can see here we've got some bricks we need to push past. There we go. Right, so there's a balloon ahead of us. However, we're coming down here. And following our swan. So yeah, for the thing I was trying, you had to get to here. Without using more than 3 balls. It's possible to do it with spending none, but you know, it's kind of fun to get some paint down. Right, so you can see that the feet go up here, and you're meant to obviously go up to there. But hang on, I don't recall putting the paint up there at all. That landed awkwardly. Wait, what's that? What? Oh. Okay, Can I? Wow, okay. Right, so I know how this puzzle resolves. You can see now that is obviously that we're looking at. So these pots are a clue. And there we go. That's how we navigate that part. Different colours. Well, that's not fair.
The king's new subjects were tired of white. They were tired of tripping, of banging their shins, of misplacing their homes. So they started painting everything, ruining the king's spotless design. In response, the king outlawed all non-magical brushes and pledged to spend the next month painting shadows for his kingdom.
I think that was the first moment in the game, first time playing it through, that surprised me. I thought an awful lot of it would have relied entirely on black and white. So I was wondering how they were going to progress the theme that they were doing. So when I initially saw the grey, I was like, hang on, that seems to portray what I thought they might be going with. But then again, you have to go with it. They really don't elaborate what or why that's there at all. And it definitely doesn't look like a dragon. So, we can still paint, whether it's white or grey. If it's glass, however... So now we've got three behaviours. Paint on a solid surface paints, paint on water floats and then sinks, and paint on a glass object bounces. So you've got floating balls here, bouncing balls here, and absorbing balls here. So they've definitely added more bits on. And obviously there are little hidden environments where balloons can be found. But as I said, I have collected them before. Water will kill you. So I don't want to walk in here because it will kill me. See? I never noticed that sword before, I don't think. It's kind of cool. I mean, if it is a sword, I mean, it could be something else. It could be something completely different from a different perspective, possibly. As you can see, there's steps. And that doorway is shut. Again, sometimes when I'm just looking around, you're going to see abstract shapes floating in the middle of the air. Because, yeah, it's kind of hard to read depth from such sort of plain colours. Anyhow. Now we have finally discovered an artist's Indeed. Got a little signature here. So now we've got what looks like a maze and some cool drawing. A massive hippo. And that is a little model of the unicorn that we saw a minute ago with the gold horn. Not sure what you refer to a spike on a unicorn as. I'm lost for words. Anyhow, this is a little model of an environment we've already been in. You'll recognise the crown. I'd love to know why I can't stand on this. Well, and you can see the staircase there that we've already come along. And there you've got the little well. And there's the other unicorn. It's a very cute model, I like it. It's a shame can't get better access to that. Right. So in here you can paint over everything. I mean, if you want to. If you want to desecrate everyone's creative work.
Whoa.
That is a swan. Which apparently you cannot paint. You can see now that everything's solid white, but it is an actual staircase we're going down. Now, is it best to paint the right wall? Or should we paint the left wall, or just paint the floor? Is it wise to just wander around? Should we paint the floor, not the walls? Should we go back up the staircase to see where we've been afterwards? I feel kind of guilty making such a mess in this place. Really? Okay, there's another route this way. Okay, so we've definitely closed that loop. I'm pretty sure this is just a retaining wall for... Unless it continues? Okay, it continues, right. Okay, so we've definitely filled in, yep, everything we can down the right side.
The labyrinth was designed to be beautiful, and it was. It was not designed to be practical, and it wasn't. Whole families got lost for weeks at a time, mail took months to arrive, and many worried a labyrinth of this size was bound to attract dragons. Eventually, the complaints grew so loud even the king couldn't ignore them.
Okay, so we found another material that paint bounces off. Does not, however, bounce off the handle. So that's metals and glass. Okay, looks like this is a dead... Oh! No, okay. He keeps going. There are the odd areas, like here, where a splat will go under the wall. I mean, it happens. That's a hard problem in game engines. Okay, so we got through the maze. Oh wow. Look at the colours on that. Oh, well. We got up here rather quickly. Now seeing this the first time I did, I was quite taken aback by, oh, wow, it's drawing a lot. Because it's one of these things where, in like Half-Life 2, you know, you're going along the coast. There's like 2 buildings, and they're like 20 polygons in total. And then there's a pier with a couple of planks of wood, and that's about it. And I thought, wow, look at those polygons. Look at all of them. I mean, of course, it's incredibly simple and minimal. But it still impressed me. I don't know why.
The king was so frustrated with the messy, demanding people of his kingdom that he decided to start over. One morning he painted a boat and set off to find the perfect spot. He told himself he'd come back someday to finish what he had started, but of course, he never did.
Aww. Okay, so the swan has left us. That's cute. Right, I'll stop messing around now. Okay, so there's a telescope here. And that goes back, I guess we started over there. And that's the mess we made. And you can see where we painted most of the... Oh, nothing, that's neat. Oh. So there's water surrounding this. So there's a moat up in the tower. That's kind of interesting.
For the first time in weeks, Monroe felt good. He felt even better when the wind pushed him close enough to reach the swan. He was feeling so good, in fact, that he forgot all about his fear of heights. But when the swan wriggled free and Monroe fell over the side, he remembered almost immediately. That might have been the end of Monroe if this were a shorter story, but it isn't, which is why Monroe's troubles were just beginning.
Right, so chapter 1 is done, and we're going to go straight into chapter 2.
Monroe scrambled out of the water and found himself in a massive city with no sign of the swan or anyone else. Well, except someone's enormous pair of feet. These were attached to a giant who could have been a big help in catching the swan, but, unfortunately, here was the laziest giant who had ever lived. And it was his day off. Having celebrated in his usual way, he was now sleeping it off and quite unable to hear Monroe yelling. While he was looking for a way to wake the giant, Monroe noticed something even better. A floating ship.
And that's the model we saw earlier in the... and there we go, we can see it above us. So clearly that's the goal, I guess, to the boat. Now you can see... oh, so now we've got water balls. Or maybe it's just blue paint. Okay, so there are some objects we can knock around in this environment. Right, okay. So we're able to lower the bridge. Cool little boat out there. Nothing to do over there apparently. Are we giggling at the fact that it's snoring? It's kind of weird. Okay, there's a ladder there. Quite often some of these dead ends are where balloons are, so obviously having picked them up already means we can't activate them.
Sometimes the giant wondered about where all the people in the city had gone. Mostly he worried they might come back and ask him to clean their gutters or put out their fires. But they never did, and that was why the giant, who was the laziest that had ever lived, was also the happiest.
Okay, we can walk across locks. That's what they're called. I was trying to think of the word then. Okay, so that's suggesting we walk up there, which obviously we can't do. Can we? Can't get that way. Okay. Can we walk along the boat? Ah, footsteps here. Aha. It's kind of much harder to see when everything's white crossed with light blue.
Before he discovered painting, the king was a potter. He loved the simplicity of a
Harry
well-spun
Potter!
pot. So when his subjects complained that his new city was
Okay,
too
it is
austere
water,
and that
because
there
it
was nowhere to
evaporates.
relieve themselves, the king ignored them. But when they started relieving themselves in his pots, the king hastily built them a sewer system.
This king is not very proactive in how he does anything. Oh, here's a ladder. Right, so this is the ladder we saw earlier. And no doubt there is a balloon nearby. Or would have been a balloon nearby. Like up here or something. However, we want to put water in. Oh! There are objects in there. Now, do you think I can hop down here? Apparently, yes. I didn't actually remember that we had to go up that ladder. However, it all worked out, so. Ooh, creepy crawlies. That certainly looks rickety. Part 2 scaffolding. So it's telling us we need to climb. That ladder looks broken, so that makes sense. Okay, I guess we're jumping on there, are we? Seem to recall there's a balloon just here. It's cute they put a little sewer pipe on the corner of it. Now I seem to remember this isn't as straightforward as I remember. I know I need to move it around, but do I need to... Oh, that was it, yeah. I remember now. We are going over to this set, or this side of the building. So the little footprints. Climbing here. Then spinning it back round. Wrong way. And there we go. We have access to the other side. And we are going down there. Right. Do we go this way? There's the swan. He's having a nap. Right, how do we enable this?
As the city filled up with people, the streets filled up with garbage. In a fury, the king painted over the roads with a canal, which swept away the trash, along with some of the slower children. But the water brought something else, a horde of vines which began covering the city.
So, let's cover the city. And there we go. Oh, that is a nice green colour. Look at that. Ooh. Now you'll now realise why we have water. It's to encourage these growths, and then we can climb them like ladders. There we go. I forget what we need to do to encourage it down here, because we need it over this. Oh, there's that big guy. Yeah? Yeah, it's actually kind of easy to fall off those growths, vines, whatever you want to call them. If you didn't realise, that's a whale. Hey bird, how you doing? That's basically telling us that it's growing up the pipe. And, well, we're at the palace. Got another little hedge maze. Of course, we didn't need to climb the tree. I wanted to. It's fun. Will she narrate it? Probably not. Right.
Unlike his nicely trimmed hedge maze, the vines refused to stay where the king wanted them. He ordered his subjects to pull up every vine they saw. But the people were getting tired of the king's endless decrees, so they secretly began watering the vines whenever the king wasn't looking.
Nice. That wasn't very good. Nice. Now here's a nicer thing. The fact that now the space is, after the water balls have faded away, defined by the vines. I think that's lovely. A nice table and some stained glass windows with holes in. So to discover how to leave here, look up for webbed feet prints. Here would be another point for a balloon. Right, so now we want to go where the bird is.
Hey!
Indeed, hey. There is a thing over there.
The king hated the sea, and all because of his very first castle. It was the only one he had ever come close to finishing, and it took him a single day. But then the tide came in and washed it all away. He vowed that someday he'd build a kingdom that would last forever.
Hard promise to make when you only have a finite. Why? Can you see the wall near us, agitating up and down? I guess it's just the stuff on the wall. Anyway, yes, with a finite amount of time to do anything in life, it's kind of really hard to say it will last forever or something. Okay, so let's get this telescope out. Okay, so he's building a statue of himself. Okay. And if that is he, then he is sat in a nice little office space in his head. Retired, I guess. We are still going that way towards the airship. And it looks like we're jumping on these little roofs. Roofs. So that is obviously the window of the dining room we're just in, or dining hall, I guess you would say. So let's encourage the vines up here, and then cross the bottom of this bridge, I guess. Probably best not to say, don't look down. Because there are a reasonable amount of whales, apparently. Right. Wasn't it going? Yeah, this way. I'm not entirely sure if I'm holding onto the metal here and I'm just spreading the vines along so that I can take them with me, or if I'm hanging on the vines, so I'm just gonna go a bit sheepishly along here. Okay, so it's definitely spreading down there. See, when the bell goes off, it sounds like... Whoops. That's what happens when you fall to your death. Whoop. Oh, I'm a silly person. I've just seen the bridge that's right underneath us.
Whoa!
You're a good little boy. This is why I think I appreciate replaying games after a year or two. My brain is quite happily fresh to them, so it's a new adventure again.
The vines were slowly burying the king and his city. No matter what he tried, the king couldn't stop them. So he decided to create something that could. He mixed in paint thinner, malice, and snot, and soon had the outlines of a pretty horrible creature. But it wasn't until the thing began to coil its tentacles and snap its jaws that the king understood what he had made.
Well, that doesn't sound very good, does
For the first
it?
time in his life, the king was afraid.
So I think that's suggesting we do something with water. Ah. Right, so let's grab that. So, can we get the vines to go up this way? Right, so it's kind of obvious I should be able to jump on that now. There we go. Wow, this bridge does not look that stable. Right. Okay, we're in the bell tower.
Even half finished, the creature had no trouble swallowing up all the king's soldiers, half his zoo, and 3 peppermint gazebos. It was only with the help of his pet hippo and the giant that the king was able to force it into the sea. And though the water remained black for years after, the creature was never seen again on shore.
There we go. Okay, we're getting quite high now. I think cannons floating under big air balloons is kind of neat as a concept. Utterly mental, but neat.
Within a short time, the king's subjects had all moved away, except the giant, who was quite loyal and also very lazy.
Oh, wow, we definitely spread a decent amount of green around. However much I was content with the green earlier, that's still lovely. A pinch too dark green for me. Right. Oh, right. Do I just bounce over here? There we go.
Monroe waved goodbye to the giant and set sail. But no matter how fast he went, the Swan was always just out of reach. And not for the first time that day, Monroe suspected he was being led somewhere. Then they flew into a cloud, and everything went black.
How many more chapters are there? It's 3, 4. Okay, so we're halfway through the game. I think I'll leave it there tonight. We'll do chapter 3 and 4 tomorrow, and that should make 2 nice parts for YouTube, I guess. Chapter 3 it's quite dark and for a good couple of minutes. It's navigating around in a really dull environment. I mean, dull in it's quite bland and it's hard to see. So that's potentially going to be problematic on stream. The King's Dream, that's kind of cool. There are some interesting mechanics in the nursery as well. I shan't fault that. There are extras, so I wonder if I might look through some of those tomorrow. But yeah, thanks for watching. That's part 1 of the Unfinished Swan.